to restore Pokemon, TCG, and sports cards here on the Cardboard Alchemist podcast. And now here are your hosts, Giovanni and Sebastian.
Welcome to Cardboard Alchemist.
Welcome back, guys.
I am your host, Giovanni, and next to me I have my partner in crime, Sebastian. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How you been?
You chilling like a villain on penicillin?
Hell yeah, every single day.
Let's go. We're coming up with all kinds of schemes lately. Today's episode is about buying Pokemon cards and not getting screwed when you're buying, which can happen and has happened.
And it happens a lot.
I mean, if you don't get screwed at all, like, hats off to you, because it's like 100% gonna happen to you at some point.
That's why we're here to teach you guys what to look for, and also how to be prepared to bargain.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first topic I want to talk about with buying in general is card shops. So Sebastian, tell me, like, you know, how many card shops are around you?
So around me, they're pretty much, so there's gaming. It's like maybe a couple, like maybe 5 minutes away from where I live. And then there's another shop called Moonblast. There's another shop that's called Pocket Monster Treasures. And then my favorite that I go to, because they always have bangers, they always help me out with prices, I help them out. And it's called the Pocket V2. You should search them up on Instagram. Anybody that's interested, you know, hit them up. So there's like around 4 or 5 shops around me. Some shops, they will be flexible with some prices depending on what you're buying and depending on that. But some will not be flexible at all, depending on what it is. And, and sometimes I've noticed too, when you tell them about conditions on the card, everybody has their own description or their own way of thinking what condition they have on the card. There's damage, moderately played, heavily played, LP, and then near mint. Sometimes I saw a card that was heavily played going for like around LP to near mint. So that's when you have to tell the people in the card shops, hey, like this card has a crease or has lifted edges that can't be fixed. Well, they don't know that you guys can fix them yet. So you always got to make sure they don't know that. And that's when you can kind of like dabble with prices and start bargaining with prices. And one time there was a card shop that tried selling me a card for $80 near mint. But then you always want to make sure when you have the card, always look around the light, make sure there's a light right above you, and just look around it. Like, start skimming around and try to find those damages. So this card had a bend and a crease, and that person told me that, I picked it up. I'm the one that picked it up. I know it's near mint. I'm like, I'm not. And I showed her the card. I was like, it's not near mint. I'm sorry, but, I'm going to be paying $80 for this. Can you, lower down the price? It is damaged. Can you take it for damage price? So after that, she goes to the back, and she's like, yeah, we can do $20, which is perfect because that's how much damage goes for. So I bought that card for $20.
Anytime but if you don't have a good light source,
use your phone. Yeah.
That's a good way to do it too. If you're really you can get those like, jeweler's loops you can bring with you or whatever. But I don't, most of the time I go to a card shop, it's like spontaneous. I'm like, I'm in the area. I'm just going to go look. Mm-hmm. Walk out with freaking $500.
Have you gone to AAA Collectibles?
No. I have gone there once.
Mm-hmm.
They're overpriced. But a lot of YouTubers get invited there and stuff, and it's hyped up, to be honest. Like, really? So they're super busy there and stuff like that. But it's okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, because when I went to Vegas, that's the one card shop that I wanted to go, because of course it was all over. Now you're saying it's overhyped, of course, because it's overpriced and all that stuff. I didn't know that back then, but that was the one stop that I did wanted to do. So, in Vegas, what card shops do you recommend going that are good in price and everything else?
Yeah, so the reason 888 rubbed me the wrong way is Evolving Skies was 6 months after it released, and it was so hot when I went into 888 they said the only way you can buy Evolving Skies is if you buy another pack. Then it unlocks your ability to buy Evolving Skies. Yeah.
What? That's bull. I'm sorry.
I know.
That's crap.
And all their prices are a little... But anyway, whatever. They're, like I said, they're running a business. I get it.
Of course, yeah.
But Legacy Card Shop is a really good one. They have 2 locations in town. They have one close to me that used to have everything. It was the only location. And then they just created a new location. That one is so cool, but it's far away from me because that one is Pokemon. It is like...
Just Pokemon.
I mean, they got like a tiny... It's like a huge selection of Pokemon and a little bit of sports and other TCG, whereas the one that's close to me is mostly sports and a subsection of Pokemon. But if there's anything good, they usually put it at the other location. But I walked in there one time at the Pokemon one, and they had a full 151 set, right? And if you're buying a master set, always take a look. Like, who cares about the little cards? For example, like base set, right? When you have a base set master set, there are 102 cards in the set. You don't want to be sitting here checking the condition of each one. There are 3 that matter. Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur.
Yeah.
Maybe Alakazam has an arguable one that you may want to take a look at too. But look at those 3 conditions because that's the bulk of the value. Now with 151, the most of it's in the Charizard. So the first thing I did is look at the Charizard, and bro, it had an indent, it had whitening, and I was able to get them down a little bit. But the best part was like, hey, guy, in fact, the guy was like, I can't really move the price, man. Like, that's going to sell. And I told him, I'm like, I come here all the time. Like, you know me, you know? And he's like, fine, you know? So you just got to build relationships, and that's what you'll kind of learn, like, a part of,
always,
shows.
Yeah, and then always, show interest in good cards too. They'll notice. A lot of people, like when I go to that my local game card shops, they already know me, who I am. They're like, oh hey, because I used to go, because originally when Moonblast barely started, they used to be a little shop right in a corner, like just a little shop. So I've always gone with them because I used to buy a lot of Magic cards with them, and I'll get a lot, either do trades, and then also that's how you can get good cards too, by looking at that, and you can do trades. Trades is one of the best things too. If you don't want to really waste a lot of money or of your own money, trades is the way to go. Yeah. So with that, same thing. So always go multiple, if you have time in your day, go stop by, say hi, talk to them about this card that you're interested in, or, if they'll be flexible with those type of prices, just engage in conversation, and they will remember you. And, how Giovanni said, build relationships. That's like one of the key things too. So you can try to get better prices and good, good bulk deals and stuff.
And don't be afraid to walk away from a deal. Like, don't get, because if your main goal is not PC, let's say you think you want to buy something and flip it, and you can't get the price down, don't do it.
Don't feel pressured.
If it's PC, fine. Pay the market and keep the card. But, just collect what you enjoy, and if it's something that you're like, hey, maybe I can fix this, that's where the beauty of what we do, sometimes you can just buy right at market if they don't budge, because after you fix it, now you've got it from MP to LP, which maybe added 20-30% to the card right there. And that's kind of the whole point, is buying and selling. You can watch 1,000 of these YouTube videos of these card vendors at shows or people who own card shops. Most of them are trying to get product at 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
Sometimes 70. But usually that 60% is that sweet spot. So when you walk into a card shop, you can normally negotiate 10 to 20% unless it's a liquid card. And when I say liquid, something that moves quick, right?
Which are bigger cards. Usually, like, let's say right now, Tag Team is pretty hot. Tag Team is pretty hot right now. They won't be flexible with those. So I would say get to a set that's not as, hot right now. That's the only thing too that we wanted to talk about. It's just like always go for the not hot items, because of course the hot items are always good. The hot cards are always going to be non-negotiable, and they won't be flexible with you on those.
Right. And another thing I like to do is I'll bring cash sometimes. I don't always remember, but there's a couple of shops around here that you can bring cash and you can get a little bit of a better deal because if you, what I like to do is I'll ask for the owner of the shop because normally the people working there are employees. They are told like you can do 10 or 20%. That's max you can negotiate because they know people are going to walk in there. But if you talk to the owner, things change.
Of course, yeah. You're talking
normally
to the head honcho.
Walks out and they're like, yeah, fine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But cash, I usually say, hey, can you knock off the tax? Like, you know, and they'll be like, fine.
Yeah, they'll do that. You know, let's say you're paying with card, you're going to be paying at least like a $5, like 5% fee. If you use card, or I think 2% or 3%. So yeah, it's like how Josh said. It's always best to, you know, bring in the cash. If not, you know, unlucky day, use Zelle. I know Zelle or Cash App doesn't take away taxes either.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I didn't even think of that, asking them if they take Zelle or whatever.
Yeah, so most shops do take it, but of course you need to ask them. Sometimes some shops also have those little barcodes that you can just scan, and usually it'll link them to their Cash App, their Zelle, or what other PayPal, whatever other you know, way of payments they take.
Sometimes shops have like trade nights and stuff like that. Those are also good for like finding cards and like, you know, meeting new people and stuff like that. But you know, I've gotten more disciplined in the sense where I'll walk into a card shop and if I don't see a deal, I walk out. Like,
100%.
You just don't feel like obligated that you walked in that you gotta buy something, you know.
Yeah.
So
and also, you know, always stay firm with your price too. You know, I mean, if it's $2, why not, right? Always negotiate. Always be firm with prices. If the vendor doesn't know the price, you know, you do have to do your research and look at, you know, latest comps on those and damage prices, because sometimes, depending on where you're looking, either it's price charting. You know, you're looking at eBay sales, TCG. What do you use? I use TCG.
I usually look at price charting if it's a slab. If it's raw, then I will go to TCG Player because you can do
all those
condition. But sometimes TCG Player doesn't have enough data on certain cards.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So then you need to go to eBay comps and then just kind of like pull a bunch up and find one that's kind of in the same condition.
Yeah, in the same condition. That's and then that's gonna take that's what does take a little long. But I mean, waiting that long and being patient about it, it brings in high rewards. Like very high rewards. Like there is, I went to a trade night, and you know, I saw this the legend. Right now, I'm trying to collect all the legend cards with the 2 cards that connect. I'm trying to collect all those for my PC. I'm not really caring about the conditions. But when I went with this one vendor, I saw it. I'm like, okay, how much are you copying this? How much are you selling this one for? He's like, right now we're trying to sell it at $150. I'm like, all right. So I took a look at it. You know, like I was talking in the beginning, always make sure lighting is always there. You know, so I was looking at it. I noticed a little spot of water damage. Yeah. So I let him know. He's like, oh crap! I didn't even notice this. And see, this is what people don't know either, because some people just don't even know what they're looking for. Some people just think, oh, it's near mint. When in reality, this is why we're trying to teach you, you know, what to look for in cards. And once you practice this, you're gonna be like a wizard. You know, nobody's not gonna know what you're gonna be doing of how to looking at all this stuff. So when I saw those, and it had a little indent as well. So I told him, hey, it has a little bit of water damage on top. And a little indent. He's like, no, you're lying. Let me see the card. So he got the card. He's like, oh, crap. It does. So right there, I tried negotiating. You know, I looked at, it was very hard to find comps on TCG Player. So I went to eBay. I'm like, okay, last sold for 30, you know, a water damage type of thing. He's like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay. I had cash with me. Okay, I told him I'll do 45 right now. Cash, you know. Now I had my hand right here and I had the cash.
Yeah.
He's like, can you do 50? I'm like, can you do 48? I pulled $2 more. Would you do $3 more? There you go. Sorry. I pulled $3 more out. I'm like, okay, I have my hand right here. You're down for that? Okay, I'm on to fight for $2. So we just shook on that for $48.
There you go. Have you ever done a coin flip before?
I want to do that. That's the one thing that I want to try.
You've never done a coin flip?
No.
Oh, dude,
have you?
I love those. I've done a ton of them. I try to find ways to do coin flips. Yeah. And by the way, I've lost more than I've won, but they're fun. I did make out big with a coin flip. What was that?
I want to do one, but has anybody ever come up to you and tell you, hey, let's say it's a banger card, right? Like, let's say it's a $1,000 to $2,000 card. Has anybody ever come up to you, hey, 0, or they double it?
No.
I've been seeing a lot of videos like that, and that's scary. I mean, if you win it, I know they're fake, yeah, but like it's just interesting.
Fake. No sane vendor would be like for $0, not to
or
mention.
double.
Even if it hit a 0, they'd be like no, and then the buyer, if it hit double, they would be like no.
I've seen people like the Bulbasaur. Or I don't know if you're familiar with him, the Bulbasaur.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, so I know he does a percentage. So like I've seen some of his videos when they do coin flips, right? So let's say the card is 200. He's like, I can do 160, 200, or if not, like if they want it lower, he's like, I can do 160, 180 when they're like around there. So he's very flexible, and that's kind of what I want to start doing too. As in, like, I want to start doing coin flips to see what I can win or what I can lose, basically. But that's like a scary thing to do. Because I know my luck sucks.
Normal coin flips aren't like too crazy. Well, again, you have to do sane coin flips. I did one time. I did a trade, and we were arguing on how much cash on top. And it was like $100 difference. Yeah. And so I did another deal at the last card show where I got this really cool Top Sun pack.
Oh, that's cool.
I got all the WB promos, and I also got a Charizard Shadowless 7.5, this card here.
Ooh,
so I did like a bulk deal. So it was like 3 things, and it totaled out to be like $4,850, right? And I said, would you do $4,500? And the guy, which I thought was a fair offer. Like, again, I mean,
it sounds fair. Yeah,
we're talking. This is probably one of the biggest purchases I've done at a card show. But I wanted to. I've been doing this so long that I have like so much bulk that it's becoming overwhelming, and I'm trying to get away from small cards. Yeah, like, I don't have the mental capacity to juggle like $100, $200 cards. Like, I want to do bigger cards, take bigger risks, and do that. But anyway, my point is I said 45, he said 46, I said coin flip. And he was like, fine. And tails, baby, got it for 45. And,
hell yeah. And then that feeling you get when you finally win it.
I've lost 3 of every single coin flip before that at that show. I lost, like, but yeah, my dad's a gambling addict. I'm a gambling addict. So luckily, I don't gamble at slot machines. So that's the one thing about Las Vegas. You got to be careful.
I remember one time.
Look at this stain, dude, on the back of this. The reason I was like, this is a good deal because I think these are going for like 7. But the reason he had it lower is because of the stain. And I'm curious if I can clean the stain with maybe some card spray and like dabbing it. You know what I mean?
Is that the one with the gum inside? Because I know there's, I don't know if it's Top Sun or I don't know. It's another, I think it's another brand or another company. But I know there's some Pokemon cards exactly like that. They're like in halves or something. But there's one with gum inside.
I wouldn't eat it. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen somebody do that and they spit that crap out real quick.
That shit dissolves in your mouth immediately, I'm sure. But
no, like he took it out. I think it was Pokerib that did it, or I don't know who it was. Maybe Pokebolt, one of those guys. He took it out, dude. It crumbled quick. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna try it, and he just spits it out.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So I'm gonna one thing about card shops is they know what they're doing. Now at card shows, sometimes there's a mix of people there, man. Like, it's almost like that flea market mentality where sometimes people...
I love flea markets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, tell me about it, right? Like, sometimes you can come across some steals, but also there's a bunch of fakes at flea markets, too. You gotta be careful.
Fake packs, fake cards, so just be careful. Yeah. Rip it right in front of them. I'm kidding.
There was a comic book booth, these guys from Seattle, and they had this card sitting there. And I looked up comps on this first edition Raichu, and 1,200, the dude was smoking. Like, this card's not that much.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you're way too high on this card. And like, I didn't want to be, I'm like, hey, not to be rude, like, but, you know, he only had a handful of Pokemon. He didn't know what he was doing. He probably just like threw some on there. So, you know, in those cases, you don't want to rip their head off, but still, they don't specialize in Pokemon. They don't really want it at their booth. And so those people might be more willing to negotiate. And
like to shoot me an offer type deal.
Yeah. So if you see like a sports booth and they have like 3 Pokemon cards in there and one of them catches your eye, they might be more willing to just get it out of their case so they can make more room for their sports stuff or something.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, so if you don't have local card shops or shows, there's still eBay, there's still OfferUp, you know. So
but you gotta
more
be careful with
OfferUp. On the OfferUp side, so I'm kind of done with OfferUp, although
me too.
The reason I'm done with OfferUp, I have gotten good deals from there. But the reason I'm done with OfferUp is I've had people flake on me. I've driven across town and no call, no show, can't get a hold of the guy. And now I just wasted freaking 45 minutes of my life.
That's the one thing that, you know, some people won't message you back. They'll either flake, like how you said, they'll flake on you, or if not, they'll just try to lowball you even lower.
Yeah. And you got to be careful of fakes, get robbed. Yeah. You know, the risk is high. So it's just more of the time, like driving around and stuff like that. But that's why eBay is so great. But finding deals on eBay is getting harder and harder by the day. Like, a lot of people shop on eBay. I mean,
a lot.
Me included, it's insane. Everybody included. Yeah. But the good news is like eBay's not the monopoly. There's like alt auctions, there's pristine auctions, there's golden auctions,
SPSA auctions, everything.
There's a few other sites that have lower traffic. There's even shopgoodwill.com and goodwillfinds.com. One of them's like a buy it now and one's an auction, and I have gotten some good deals on the auction one. So, but as far as eBay is concerned, the one thing about eBay is there are some strategies you can use to reduce your costs. So we'll talk a little bit about those in the Patreon, because I want to show in the Patreon exactly how you and me search for cards that are good deals, things to fix, what exactly we're looking for, all in the page.
Yeah.
I'll even show you ways. For example, I just bought this crazy card. You're not gonna believe this card that I'll show you in the page that I bought. Absolutely insane. Like,
is it like one of those like high end cards or
impulse buy, bro? Like immediately regret my decision. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why. I think in my head I'm like, in 10, 20 years this card's gonna be huge, sort of thing.
Oh, I think the same. Gamble. I think the same way. That's why I'm buying all the legend cards right now before they skyrocket.
But I saved $600 with this strategy that I'll share in the page. So, nice. Like off the top, you don't need to do anything with the seller. I'm not talking about bidding. I'm not talking about anything like that. But I'll share it with you guys in the page. It is a big hack on how you can save big on eBay. So the other thing about eBay is you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Low feedback people, man. There's 2 types of low feedback people. People who are just straight up new to eBay, and you can tell. Like, I had one guy who posted a base set Charizard pack, and he also posted like something else. Forgot what it was. It wasn't a graded card or anything. I could tell the guy had... I clicked on sellers' other items so you can see what else they have listed.
Yeah.
That's a good way to gauge, is this the other second type of account that has low feedback, which is a scam account, right?
Yeah. Or look at the reviews too. You always look at the reviews. So you always want to make sure that person's been longer than 2 to 3 years, maybe even longer, 5 years, and they have a really good feedback. You know, you can always check their feedbacks too, or their reviews. You still kind of want to be careful, of course, when you're just seeing reviews saying that they're a good buyer, prompt payment, because those are just automatic ones, the automatic things that they'll get as in when they buy stuff. You always want to make sure you're looking at stuff like great communication, shipped everything perfectly type of things. Like you always want to look at those type of comments because those people actually know what they're doing when they're shipping cards out. Some people, not so much. So that's also what we're going to talk about and teach you guys too on the Patreon.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've seen people who build a fake profile. They'll buy a bunch of stuff. They'll sign up for eBay, buy a bunch of stuff, get feedback, and it looks like they have feedback, but none as a seller. And then they'll pop up something for sale and then scam somebody.
Yeah. So you just gotta be careful with that, guys, too.
If you look in the comments and the reviews and you see A+ seller, not buyer, then you're like, okay, can loosen it up. But what I have had one miracle buy before from a low feedback where message the seller. Talking to the person reveals a lot. Oh, yeah. So I had this one situation where there was a base set pack. It was on auction. It was listed like way too high, and I messaged the guy. I said, hey, I'm interested in this. Will you take $400 right now? I don't remember the price. I said, will you put it on buy it now? Because if nobody has bid on the auction, they can change it and add a buy it now and lower the price, right? So I told them, hey, I'll buy it right now. Dude needed the money, updated it, huge W, pack was heavy, was sick, right? But even on top of that, I said, what else do you got that hasn't listed? He started taking pictures of all these crazy cards in his collection. And he's like, I just need them gone. Like, give me a number and we'll make it happen. And so I bought like a huge collection for like $2,000 or something. And it was a ton of good
that's
stuff.
cool. That's cool.
But that's one of those like needle in haystack situations.
Yeah, it's very rare to find those type of people. Yeah. It's like with one eBayer that, that I met, and he started following me. He's gonna be a client soon. So one of the legend cards that I bought the Deoxys and Rayquaza bottom half, and I was looking at it and I thought, I was like, hey, I need to see the condition, the front, back, all corners, and one side looked a little bent. So when I saw it, I'm like, hey, does that look bent? He's like, no, it's just the lighting. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool. And then he was showing me his other stuff. I asked him, what else do you have? Like, same thing how you asked the guy, like, oh, what else do you have that's not listed? He's like, oh, I'm a vendor. He told me he was a vendor from New Jersey. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then so I got the card and everything, and I told him, like, hey, just let you know if you ever want, card repair, cleanings. And that's how you also make, you can, like, meet people. You can also bring clientele. You become a client and bring a clientele. That's how I see it, too, So, give them better deals. They give you deals. So he gave me a really good deal on that card. So I know he had listed it at $160. I bought it for like maybe like around $150, $140.
Yeah.
So at near mint, and that one for near mint is pretty pricey.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, no, exactly. Those sorts of stories where you're like building relationships, and eventually people start reaching out to you when they want to sell stuff, right?
Yeah,
because they know you're ready to buy. They know what you do. And especially if you're cleaning cards for people, you become their go-to.
Yeah.
But after you're done cleaning it, if they want to sell it and you cleaned it, sometimes you end up like saying, "Hey, I'll buy it off you" or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. There's multiple times where I've said that to one of my clients, the Pocket V2. He gave me a huge stack, and most of them were for his personal collection. All Blastoise. He loves Blastoise, Squirtle. And I seen his collection, bro. It's fire. Like it's heat. And there were some cards that I used to have in my old collection that he had that I cleaned up. I'm like, hey, I'll buy this off of you right now.
Hell yeah.
Type of deal. But I didn't get to do that. But
sometimes
yeah. So with him, I mean, I helped him out a lot. He's helped me out a lot with good prices. He's given me good deals, so I give him good deals.
Right.
And with that, just build, like how we talked in the beginning, build a relationship with the people that you're either cleaning cards with or buying cards off of.
Yeah, there's this guy in the military that comes to my booth, and I always hook him up, but he came by the booth and sold me something and hooked me up. So the relationship goes both ways. Like, you can't just like keep getting deals from people. You also got to reciprocate that too.
Of course,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? So that's what building relationships all about. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. So you know, but yeah, there. You know, it's funny. So there's two ways this can go if people know you clean cards. By the way, one of them is at a card show. This guy was like, I was like, hey, how much for this card? Way overcomped, and the guy was salty, and I'm like, I won't say who it is, but he's a pretty big guy on Instagram. He rips like on Whatnot and stuff like that.
He's a ship and rip guy?
He's huge. Yeah, he's big in there. But anyway, he does not like me, I could tell. Whatever, you know. To each his own. But there was no sticker on it, and I asked, and I know he knows what I do, and he went way over because he knows it was a Mewtwo Legendary Collection reverse, I believe. You know what I'm talking about?
Those are nice. That's a nice card.
Like kind of like this, but like the
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo, yeah. And I think it was a 6 or a 5 or something. It was clean, but he priced it like when I asked, he priced it at like an 8 or a 9 or whatever, and I was like,
what?
Yeah,
that's crazy. I don't know why you do that.
There was a Regirock Gold Star. And had a crease on it. I was like, perfect card, like, to fix, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, how much for this? And he was like, $480. And I looked, and like a PSA 6 was like, it. Sometimes if people know you fix cards, sometimes they rip your head off, or if they don't like what you do. There are people in this community that think what we do is like naughty list and whatever. They're just jealous. But it can go the other way, where like I walked into Dark Side Games here in town, first time walking in, and the guy's like, "You Giovanni?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It was like the first time anyone recognized me in a card shop, right? I was like, "Oh shit, you follow me?" He's like, "Yeah, dude." Like, he's like, "Look at this Torchic." That's how I got that Torchic, by the way.
Oh, nice.
And he hooked me up on that card because he was like, "Yeah, fix it up, dude. Like, see what you can do." So it can go both ways. Like they're excited that you're gonna make something better and cleaner. And then there's those that are like, I don't want to sell it to this guy. He's just gonna make money off of me. You know, like
I mean, everybody thinks differently. So. But I remember when I first went to the original shop that I used to go to, which is Moonblast, right here locally. A lot of people were buying cards off of them, and this is like I never told them who I was until the one day I was like, you know what, this is who I am, this is what I do. So a lot of people were going in there buying damaged cards from them, or like minor creases, minor everything, and they were showing it like, why are you buying these damaged cards for? And like, oh, it's because they showed them my page. Like, oh, that's cool what he does, that's cool and everything. So when I go, I'm also looking for stuff. I was like, hey, like I've been noticing a lot of people buying like stuff. I'm like, oh, and I told them like, yeah, this is who I am. Like kind of like have like a what's it called?
Superman
type of thing. Yeah, this is what I do and everything. Like, oh, okay. And I told them, sometimes I tell him like, hey, is it okay if I leave like a little card like of like what I do? He's like, oh, we can't do that. We're gonna get banned and everything. That's where I was like, oh, I understand. Because they're like they do One Piece, they do everything in the tournament, so yeah, they're gonna be supporting that and everything, and giving me clients, they can get in trouble for that. So I was like, no, then don't do that, And but later on, they started catching on that I'm like, oh no, they don't want to do deals with me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. The more I go, they're like, hey, do you, like, what are you gonna do with that card? I'm like, can I see the process? And so I started showing them the process. They started liking it now. So they bought a core Mew. It had like some fat creases, and it's weird. They couldn't find the card, but they wanted to show it to me. He's like, dude, I want you to do your magic. So later on, they started liking what we do, and they're like, you know what, like how you said, it can go both ways, or it can just go a 360, and they can just start liking what you do later on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, all in all, I've had people I won't do business with anymore. Like, either they rip my head off, they rub me the wrong way. I've had people tell me and my son in front of their booth, can you guys please stand over there because I want customers to be able to see my stuff. And I was about
Really?
to buy
Dude, that's so rude.
massive card from that guy until he decided to be a jerk.
Yeah, that's a jerk move. Don't ever do that to clients.
Be mindful of how you talk to people.
Yeah.
It means so much.
Be respectful. Always be respectful, If they're rude to you, the way to hit them harder is always being respectful, That's always the best thing to do.
Which I'm not perfect. I have had people that ran up to me. They're like, "Hey, can you fix my card?" And I've been like, "No." And I'm just like, I'm busy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
It's like same thing. I had a client yesterday. I had because of course I'm busy. I have an 8 to 5 job every single day. I try to message people as much as I can or as fast as I can. But if I am late, I do apologize just because I'm trying to balance everything out with with everything that I'm doing. So this guy sends me a either a Butterfree, I don't know what it was, but it's from like freaking Heart Gold So Silver era. So it's like a reverse hollow. He's like, "Hey, it's a 10. Would you be able to fix it and make it pristine?" And I looked at it. I'm like, "Dude, it has a white dot. Just keep it as is. I don't want to touch it or anything." He's like, "Come on, dude." I'm like, "Can you help me out?" I'm like, "Do you have anything else that I can help you with? Because I don't want to be overcharging you for that. I'm sorry, but that's taking it." And I even told him straight up, like, "That's taking advantage of you, and I'm not for that."
Yeah.
So I told him, just let me know if you have anything else. He's like, "Yeah, let me look for other cards." So he showed me the same card. So you don't want business or what? I'm like, "It's not that I don't want business." And I told him, like, I was as respectful as possible. It's like, it's not that I don't want business. It's because I already told you I cannot make that card pristine. And I was trying to give him an expected thing. Like realistically, what that card was going to get. Either it was going to go down to a 9, or stay at 10. But I told him straight up, like, it's either like the same thing I'm saying right now. It's either going to be a 9 or you could stay at 10. But of course, your chances are not likely getting a 10. Right. So he's like, "Oh, it's because I just felt like you were just looking at my messages and not trying to help me out." It's like, it's not that I'm trying to help you out. It's just I already told you a bunch of times that I'm going to be charging $50 for the $2 to $10 card. That's ripping you off, and I'm not about that. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, okay, I understand." It's like, and then I told him, like, "I'm sorry that I took long because I have all this other stuff going on, But of course, you don't have to explain yourself, You don't. That's what I've learned throughout everything. You don't have to over-explain what you do and everything, There's gonna be people like that, But just try to say your side of the story and just be respectful all the way with clients or anybody that you're talking to about business, Pokemon, One Piece, or whatever other TCG that you guys are into.
There's he who shall not be named that does card restoration that is ripping people's heads off in the sense that they don't care whether you can get a grade bump or not. They're just cleaning it, charging people, and it's not right. I don't even respond to messages that say, "I have a PSA 9, it's supposed to be a 10, can you fix my card?" Because that is not what's best to fix, especially if it's whitening. If it's a lifted edge or whatever, but most of the time, there's a white dot in the back. I mean, I'm putting together this like base set near mint thing right now. Like, I've got a ton of these base set cards. And I'm like dead ass. I think there's like 4 cards in here with no whitening. It's like it's nearly impossible. Like that's the most common thing. And sorry, like I'm not gonna color your card for you.
Yeah, like, it's either manufacturer had them like that, or even in packaging when they're like shifted around, it can cause that. And it's something that we cannot fix. Even print lines. A lot of people asked you if you can fix print lines.
Yeah. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately.
Yeah, once it's there, and unfortunately, it'll be cool. It's like how I tell clients, it'll be nice and it'll be awesome if there was a way we can take them off, but unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah. So in the page, we're about to talk about eBay strategies to save you a ton of money, how to find cards on eBay that you can flip for a profit, clean, regrade. I've gotten huge bumps, like that Masaki I bought PSA 6 got to an 8, nice. $1,100 right there. That's not my only story on eBay. I've had tons of successes. I have some bangers that I'm about to show on the page too, some things I bought on eBay, like absolutely backlogged over here of just stuff like, and that's a part of why I haven't been fixing other people's cards. Sorry, I haven't gone back to you. It's because we out here. I'm like trying to like, experiment too. I feel much less guilty about like breaking my cards than other people's cards too.
Of course, yeah.
But I have had success. Like there was this, remember that Gold Star Umbreon? I didn't know if it was fake or not. There was 3 creases, completely gone now.
Nice.
Amazing. Came out fantastic.
Hell yeah.
But, so in the page, we'll talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about a strategy for how you can get started. Like, if you're just getting started into the card restoration thing or Pokemon in general, I'll kind of tell you what my path was, and you'll be able to replicate it too, along with strategies on eBay on how you can sell right now, today, and make 10 to 30% on your money over time. So we'll get to that in the page. Subscribe to the YouTube. If you're on Instagram, go to the Poke Cleaning Shop. If you're not following Sebastian and his chest hair, what are you doing? Yeah, see, I'm bummed you didn't have.
You got to drink that Kurt's card spray to grow all this.
We should make a new cologne called
Kurt's.
Yeah.
That's what I wear to work every single day, guys. Kurt's card spray.
They're like, ooh la la. Yeah, you smell like a Gem 10.
Hell yeah.
All right, get in the page, ladies and gentlemen. Patreon.com, Cardboard Alchemist. If you're not in there, you're not getting the juicy details. We've already got freaking so many episodes that talk about so much stuff. I had somebody, Sebastian, today that said, hey, I saw your YouTube, your podcast. What are you guys talking about in the Patreon? Is there anything good in there, or is the YouTube good enough? What do you think, Sebastian?
Oh my God! You gotta come to the page. You have to come to the page. That's when we talk about more in detail, more in depth, and that's when we talk about all the juicy stuff.
All the juicy stuff. All right, let's go.